Hello bros, I'm a contestant with Theo, BroFive production, in Great Power, the Sakura space. If you did not watch Pixelmon, you don't know it, but I have a blue wig now also. So I can use a blue or a blonde whenever I feel like it. Start going right here, and we're loading where we left off, which was right here. Unlike how awkward she was before, Nami's eyes are filled with clarity. She carefully analyzes her environment, fully prepared for any threat coming her way. Beginning combat exercise in 10 seconds. As the AI counts down, she seizes her blade and enters a battle stance. 3, 2, 1. Begin. Holographic enemies appear in the room. A complete circle of security drones surrounds her. They begin to home in, unleashing a barrage of holographic pellets. Nami does not miss a beat. With a fluid movement, Nami strikes down the holographic drones without missing a single beat. Her plasma cutter hums and signs as if it flashes through the air. A flash appears behind her as one of the drones fires a holographic missile. With an incredible reflex, she dodges the rocket completely. Holographic sparks spray through the air as it slices through the drone. Her body moves with perfect precision, beautiful and gracefully. A large drone appears, two miniguns sitting on either side of its hulking shape. It unleashes a figurative death storm of bullets, practically filling the entire room with holographic sparks. Even through the digital haze, Nami does not lose her control. She slides underneath the drone as it continues to fire, slicing open its belly. It disappears in the burst of pixelated explosions. More and more virtual drones continue to pour into the room. Increased difficulty. Acknowledged. The drones immediately respond. They move in ever shifting patterns, actively attempting to flank and keep their distance away from Nami's deadly blade. Yet it does not seem to help at all. Nami moves like a blur, cutting them down without a second of materializing. Bit by bit, the stream of brutal combatants begins to slow down, until no more enter the room at all. Without much more fanfare, she cleans up the remaining drones. Soon it is just her standing in the room. She does not even appear to be breathing particularly hard. How are my results? Your combat performance was exceptional, Nami. The time between the enemy entering the room and being eliminated is only a few seconds. All hostile enemies in the simulation were eliminated with little to no delay. You are in the peak condition for combat operation against non-organic targets. Overall, this has been your best performance since you helped quell their robotic uprising. Good. We may need to defend ourselves at a moment's notice, especially against non-organic foes. She holds a sword and stretches. I think it would be good to take a short nap now. It's been some time since I have gotten a good night's sleep after all. That would be a good idea. You did not sleep particularly well last night, I can tell. Slowly the virtual environment around her dissipates into pixels. Oh, Captain. I didn't know you were watching. That was a very impressive performance, Nami. It always amazes me to watch you fight. Right, thank you. She gets awkward when she realizes someone has been watching her do something. Could you please let me know if you're watching? It just throws me off a bit. I didn't want to interrupt you, but you looked so focused. You're a stellar combatant, Nami. Thank you. I swear, Nami really is too shy for her own good. How is it that she is unable to handle someone looking at her while she works? I suppose that's just part of her personality. but she's not embarrassed to be nearly completely nude while driving the ship. That's a little weird, actually. We have been working together for a very long time, and I have yet to see her act any differently. I wanted to get ready for when we confront our bounty. After all, the practice does make perfect, doesn't it? You're right. Mama always practices. She is, by the definition of her performist. So what scenery did you use to simulate the room for this time? Considering that she's simulation room can simulate anything you can imagine. There's no lack of choices for training. Full-scale immersion of Earth. It's like the one from that old game we used to play together. You remember how we used to do that one dungeon where robots invaded Earth? Oh yeah, I remember that. Well, it's the last time they have made a decent MMO in the Milky Way anyway. You know that it's like with the industries these days. No invasion, nothing new. Just the same old boring grinding. It's true. Well, some games that are actually original is actually good, but well, it's always fun to see something new, something that actually is good, because they think of many different categories when making a game. Why not make up a new category that's completely different? You should find another game though. It was fun back in the day. Although this onboard simulator is amazing too. Definitely the best purchase we have made. Training before this thing was a nightmare. I sent shivers down my spine as I remember how badly Naomi and Katori damaged the ship with their sparring matches. What else have you tried simulating on it? Just combat situations mostly. Nothing too special. You aren't even pushing this thing to the limits of its hardware. Yeah, you could simulate like a vacation place. Or a strip club. Well, not going further into that. Maybe you could have simulated an entire donor from the game we used to play. Well, I don't want to run the risk of burning it out. Remember what happened when Kotori tried to simulate an entire MMO. Yes, and that's why Kotori no longer allowed in the simulation room. At least she content to spend most of her time at the pool instead of breaking the ship's hardware these days. So the target used a whip as her weapon. That's what the reports say. Why a whip, of all things? What about it is so special? It's a massive universe we live in, Naomi. Finding someone proficient enough with a whip to use in combat, it's not exactly impossible. While true, anyone could apply themselves to learning any other weapon. Well, I would prefer using a sword and an SG. It's like an M4 with just a whole sight. But way stronger. One shot in the head rips through any armor. Any armor you can have on your head, pretty much. While true, anyone could happily apply themselves to learning any other weapon, and overall end up being much more effective. Simulate humanoid with a whip weapon. Acknowledged. Simulate unarmed humanoid. For a few moments she watches the simulation. The armed humanoid attacks the other one with its vertical whip. Naomi analyzes it carefully, noting which angles the methods the whip-wielding simulation uses. This is only a very basic simulation, but it gives me a rough idea of how she could approach combat. She nods to herself. I have a few ideas of countering it No? Well, the whip could easily catch your sword and drag it out of your hand. And then the whip could actually catch it around your neck and pretty much snaps it if it's actually strong enough. Yeah, I don't know why I know that. There's more to her than a whip. I do not get overconfident. There's a lot more to a Kani than a whip. Considering that she threw an entire army of drones at me from out of nowhere, we have to be careful that she does not try to attack us in other ways. Waging a war with nothing but proximity drones is something she is capable of. I think so too. Although she is overconfident and would really readily show her faith whenever she wants. That does not mean that she lacks the resources to be able to defeat us without revealing herself. Perhaps it would be better to focus on my training against the Sentinels. There's nothing wrong with training to prepare yourself for both possibilities, however. Definitely, Captain. I will make sure that I'm prepared to fight against anything that she throws at us. I have no doubt that you will, Naomi. Do we have any more information since we left the meeting? Dedicating what we have observed, she is obviously someone with training. You cannot simply commit the crimes on broad daylight and evade the police like that. It could be caught up to luck, but she's managed to do it constantly. So we can presume that she is armed, dangerous, and very competent. And that is a good presumption. Is there anything else notable that we have managed to deduce? We have worked out a rough estimate of where she might appear next. How do we know actually that it's a she? Once more information is available, we will proceed to where she expected to appear next. The first part of our bounty hunt will be an investigation. We need to work out where she is before we can attempt to take her down. Not only that, but we do not know anything about her connections. She could have an entire cartel of criminals at her beck and call. Are you having second thoughts about this bounty, Nami? Not a second thoughts. We will probably never see another job like this again. But it is a good idea to plan ahead of potential danger. I agree. Anyway, I would like to get some more practice in. I will speak to you later, Captain. Until then, Nami. My mind has been in a rush since the whole thing began. I needed a moment to clear my head. Another cup of cheap coffee and plenty of time to myself. I haven't started anything yet. Nothing has been set in stone. This is very deliberate on my part. Since I have rushed to get ready for this job, I'm going to end up doing a poor job of it if I keep this up. I have made plenty of observation and presumptions. But what I really need to know is clear my head. At least I think that would be the best course of action. Well, you can't work very well if you don't have a clear head, and that I really know. Right, I need to calm down. Unless I look at this with a clear head, I'm going to end up with a jumbled mess. I need just to sit back and carefully analyze the whole situation. Fortunately, I have the return of speakers in my room. Turned off the speakers in my room. While our AI is always helpful, I do not think I need to speak with it right now. What would be best for me right now is to be myself. I do not need anyone distracting me from my own thoughts. Let me think. She has been sighted on multiple planets, but only ever revealed herself once, and where she went, chaos followed in her wake. Judging by the information, she must work systematically. The little bit of information will be handy if it is used. With a bit of work, I have already noticed a pattern between crimes. There's a delay as she travels it between the planets. However, the criminals themselves, there does not appear to be any real link between any of them. Sometimes it's a sniffer property damage, sometimes it's merely stealing something petty. She did take some artwork from a local art gallery once, but it was a piece not done by anyone special. Who is she, and why is she doing this? This is what I cannot work out. And none of the crimes seem to be worth an intergalactic attention. Now that I think about it, everything about this bounty seems bizarre. Just who is she? I pull out a digital pen and a pad. One of the ways that I work out something is with a pen. It's impossible to buy paper these days, so I just make do with the digital pad. Sitting back down at my desk, I begin to draw out my thoughts. So her first notable crime started on this planet, in this city, but none of the businesses or places she was assigned had any connection to each other, as far as I can tell. Wait, where were these places located? Was there something close to them that I could connect them to? Now that I think about it, the location of the crimes were always close to the police station. Then perhaps her motives are mocking law enforcement. Or is it for the thrill? But these details would have become readily apparent to anyone else investigating the case. So why hasn't anyone stopped her yet? All of the details swirl around in my head. I have to take the headphones off. It's impossible to have this hair when it's not behind your ear, because, well, it's very long and always finds straight down your face if you don't have it behind your ear. I have to stop for a moment and calm myself down. There are patterns, but surely someone else would have observed these. So what does all of this mean? What? Someone is in the room. Whoever they are, they blocked my vision. Did someone slip into the ship when I wasn't looking? Who's there? I immediately reach for my pistol. Before I can do so, they pull their hands away. With lightning reflex, I turn around to see who's there. Guess who? She's pulling silly grin at me. Nice to see you too, Kotori. I was so deep in my own thoughts that I did not hear her enter the room. I pulled my hand away from my pistol. You should have seen the look on your face. It's so much fun to see our cool captain lose her composure. Kotori is always doing things like this. But it was kind of nice to just sit there and watch you think to yourself. Right. She's fully dressed in her battle gear. I see that you wear new equipment. Well, it's been a while since we had a big job, so I've been doing some training. Her daggers are glowing, obviously a sign that they've been used recently. I got a bit rusty, but that's nothing a little effort won't fix. When she gets the motivation to do something, Kotori does it like no one else ever could. Whether there's a good thing or bad thing, only time can tell. I was just wondering what our illustration captain was thinking about. Just working out the details of our bounty. I bet everything on this case. Not only that, but it's going to be a difficult case to crack. With space travel as fast as it is these days, she could be anywhere in this sector. I only have a very vague information to work with too. So what do I do? I know you can work it out. After all, you just need to wait. She will slip up somewhere and you will get more and more info as time goes on. I do not know if we will be so lucky. The trail is a bit stale even if we arrive there soon. You're overthinking it. Just relax for a moment. I could see you working yourself into a frenzy. She does have a point. Even when I'm sitting up here, my thoughts are far too erratic. I need to calm myself down. I think I shall take your advice. Happy to help out, Captain. I expect another kiss as the thank you since you're such a generous and kind-hearted captain. Don't push your luck. Yes, professionalism. She winks at me. You will give up. You will give it up one day. I shove you out of it. She disappears and silently as she arrived. Maybe I will give up one day. The ship we live in is quite sizable one. Since the operations of this mercenary company span across many parts of the galaxy, there are many different teams who live on board. Every team has their own living quarters and there are even onboard shops. They can even have AIs which act as administrators in their quarter if they so wish. Our AI signals us as we step out. Keep in mind that you currently do not have an income. This job you have picked up is not going to pay for some time. So do be careful with your budget. Thank you again. Come on everyone. Nami stands there awkwardly in her suit. No. Do we have to? Well, if you don't want to go, then you can just stay in our quarters. No, I want to go. When she isn't training or on a mission, Nami is very awkward around other people. She's trying to get better at it, however. Kotori, on the other hand, has to be restrained when she is around other people. She acts too much like an overall friendly Labrador when she is in public. I wonder how everyone is doing today. Remember, you are representing the pride of our company when you are out in public, Kotori. You must act in a dignified, professional manner. She's not listening, however. Come on, let's see what new gadgets they have here. She's practically pulling me by arm with Nami trailing close behind. Perhaps it would have been a better idea to stay in our quarter after all. Then again, most of our company are familiar with their shenanigans, so perhaps this won't be too much of a problem. These two caused such a scene between the both of them. I will just have to roll with the punches this time. As we pass by a cafe, I can hear the mercenaries chatting amongst themselves. So have you heard about that $1 billion bounty? Who hasn't heard about it? Everyone here wants to have a crack at it, you know. Well, it looks like the bounty has not gone unnoticed. This means that we will have to be careful too. Sounds like a whole lot of talking about nothing to me. What, 1 billion Imperial dollars is nothing? The mercenary snorts. Sorry that we aren't all diving diamond entrance ships like you are. You know that the diamonds are worthless in this galaxy. They've been mining a damn planet made of this stuff for years. You know what I mean. The point is that even if it turns out to be a hoax, it's worth having a look. That would just be a waste of everyone's time. There's no way of knowing if the bounty is legit or not. They probably wound up pay up at the end of it either. If someone has that kind of dodgy just laying around. Then they probably have the kind of hide muscle to ensure that the merc who claims the bounty mysteriously disappears. Well, when you put it like that, maybe it would be better to stick to our safari job. There's no replacement in this world for hard work, sadly. Looks like everyone excited about this bounty. It would seem that way. Hey, you loot, do you mind? We're trying to have a conversation here. My apologies, gentlemen. No point in starting a fight. Passing by the electronics shop, Kotori's eyes glimmering with excitement. Remember that we have to be careful with our budget with the time being. Only buy things which are essential. All of this looks fairly essential to me. I just shake my head. Nami, however, does not appear to be interested in any of it. Is there something that you want to see while we're here, Nami? There are numbers of different things you could buy here. I want food. We have not restocked in ages. She makes a fair point. Oh, right. That's an excellent idea. We have to restock on bacon first and foremost. You should really cut back on the bacon. Not you too. If you plan to have so much bacon, you should really go swimming with me. It will be a great way to burn off the fat. It's not that bad. And I do plenty of work. Everyone in my crew is so carefree. I sometimes wonder if there's any point in me being the captain at all. What we need to do is to buy an array of healthy, fresh ingredients. I know many diet plans which would be perfect for energy and combat awareness. Perhaps you would like to try it, Captain. What about you, Kotori? Nope, I'm just fine as I am. But your diet is far too optimal. My stomach works very different from everyone else. You see, it's highly important that I get the right amount of sugar daily. How else do you think I have all of this energy? It would explain a lot in retrospect. Anyway, that would not be necessary. Just stock up on a variety of different supplies. If you can make something healthy from our stores, then great. If not, then we will just make do. Earth-like ingredients are few and far between this ship. Since we pass by all the sorts of different places, we can end up with some exotic ingredients. Let's just hope that no one decides to pick up a piece of fruit because it looks pretty. Is something wrong, Captain? You seem troubled. I just remembered that I have something I need to do. You two go on ahead without me. Are you sure it's nothing? Yes, please, I'll be fine. The two of them seem reluctant, but they don't say anything. Okay, we'll be back before you know it. Let's go buy dinner, Nami. Understood. The two of them disappear out of sight. Good. Oh, how long is it gonna take? I go to the isolated part of the ship where I'm sure no one else is around. Alright, you can come out now. Now what business do you have with me? It's probably just my imagination. Maybe those two mercenaries who were listening to earlier. Around here people tend to solve their disputes that way. Strictly non-lethal, of course. It goes against company policy to injure the other employees. For a long time there appears to be no one there. Then I hear a giggle echo through the hall. Oh, I am just curious about you. It's a woman's voice. I know better than most people that get a lot of strange people on this ship. It's massive and it passes by many different space stations and hubs through the galaxy. However, something about this woman. It makes me uneasy. If you were just curious about me, you could have simply approached me. And yet you followed me all the way here. I cannot help but doubt that you have good intentions. You possess a very analyze mind. Tell me, Captain Shihika, what do you think I am? You must be a drifter of some sort. I'm not good with faces, but I'm familiar with the terms who work around here. Anyone who knows me also knows better than to try to start a fight with me. And I find it hard to believe that a random drifter happens to have a business with me. So just who are you meant to be? Oh, believe me, we are connected. You took up a bounty job recently, didn't you? Like everyone else here, you do odd jobs, and I'm sure that such a massive bounty would be irresistible to you. You seem to know a lot about me. This is a bit unsettling. Some strange woman followed me like this, and it was only able to get a vague feeling of being watched. Whoever this person is, they are excellent on concealing themselves. That cause for concern. I cannot help but let my hand rest on my pistol. You would be surprised at how popular your crew is. It does not matter what job you do, you always do it. You're something of a cult following through about the galaxy. What I find odd, however, is that you're completely unaware of this. There are people who report the sighting of your crew everywhere you go. This is the first time I ever heard about this. That's what kind of fan base do we have then? I do not exactly glue myself to the digital pad like Kotori does. But then something I have to worry about later. There's also another detail. Isn't it publicly available information when a team picks up a job? That's right. You have to make a declaration to the company when you take up a job. Every other employee on board the ship can find out who is doing what job if they look it up. So somehow this woman has gotten that information, and she has become aware that my team has chosen this case. However, there would be hundreds of names on it by now, judging by the interest generated. So why did you single my crew out then? What exactly makes us stand out among the hundreds who are taking up that job? Oh, but you are very special, Captain. No other mercenary company on board has a success rate as high as yours. Does they? It's then that the woman finally steps out of the shadows. Her parents. Wait, what's that she's holding? It all suddenly clicks into place. So you must be a candidate then. But how did you end up here? She looks interesting, to say the least. The whip that is her signature rests in one of her hands. I have no doubt that you'll figure out the pattern. But there was one other small detail you missed. A company's ship also happens to visit the planet you are talking about. It's then that it hits me. So a company employee has been the one causing the mayhem. Something about it did seem familiar to me. In other words, it was you. Precisely. You are a sharp one, aren't you? The ship just so happens to be docked on this capital ship. She also gives all of this away so easily. You wouldn't reveal this information unless you were supremely confident that you would be caught. Although I am not certain that this woman is really who she claims to be yet. That she is doing does fit in my precious theories about her. She leaves a visible trail as a clue on purpose. She must believe herself to be uncatchable, even people who are extensively trained. Now that it's a bit worrying considering that I'm facing her by myself. Also correct. But I don't think I tell you why I'm untouchable by you. You enjoy a bit of detective work, don't you, Captain? Well, my job does often require me to employ using detective skills. That's already something else that I have an idea of. You have training and I can tell you the way you move. Even now she has cat-like grace. She carefully poised, just standing in the right position. Judging by the length of her whip, it would guess that she is about 3 meter reach. And she just happens to be roughly that close to me right now. You would be correct once again, once again. Before you ask me why I picked your crew, what do you think is the answer? A potential threat. If I were to think about it logically, you would view us as a potential threat. You mentioned that we have the highest success rate in mission among this company's mercenaries. So if I were going to protect myself, I would eliminate my most dangerous opponent first. How far am I off the mark? You will be right. However, that's not the only reason. Despite everything, I am a very big fan of yours. Would it be fun to get involved with one of your adventures? I thought to myself. Did you set this bounty deliberately just to lure me out? Oh no, it wasn't me. I was just taking advantage of the situation. Her whip begins to crackle with power. So can the great Captain Sheik and her crew capture Akane the Enigma? I can't help but let a smirk from on my face. Akane the Enigma. Quite an gracious title you've given yourself. From what I've seen, your adventures are the definition of gracious. So I would not want to disappoint. I can't wait to see what sort of fun we will have together. She has already sounded like she is sure of her victory. However, there is just one detail you overlooked, and that will ultimately be your downfall, Akane. Whatever might that be, Captain? You just saved me the trouble of finding you myself. Are you sure that you're ready to play a game of cat and mouse with my crew? Because I don't think you are. You have a training and experience, but you're way too early to be able to beat someone with the best of the best in the business. If you know me, then you know that you're going to be in for quite the fight. I kinda just giggles. Oh, I most certainly am ready. After all, you still have a lot of missing pieces to the puzzle. All you know of the moment is my alias. I'm just a drifter who came onto the ship recently. No one else here knows my face or my name. She begins to slip back into the shadows. I will see you soon, Shika. I cannot wait to see what sort of fun we will have together. It's then that I see many security drones drifting in from the hallways. All of them look like newer models. Faster reflexes, better networking, more precious. Not the kind of thing you can just find lying around. Oh, you were even kind of enough to leave me some target practice. I have to take a moment to analyze them before I strike. As far as I can see, they are equipped with non-lethal weapons. She said she was a fan, so I'm just going to presume that she isn't out to kill us. But if I actually got hit by one of those drones, it would be rather humiliating. Reputation is everything in this line of work, after all. And there the next picture came. That was a lot of reading. Nearly 40 minutes of reading. Oh god. That really takes out on your troop. And I'm gonna get one picture each episode. I'm very I'm very dedicated on that thing. But at least that was all I have for Sakura Space this time, so hit like and subscribe, and see you next time. BroFive!